friends. Welcome to the Daily Inch.
Oh, hello.
While I'm away researching Murder Mile, here's a little treat to keep you entertained over the next 3 weeks. 15 little stories which are fun, rambly, informative, but not essential to listen to. Each story's been written and presented in a tongue-in-cheek way and are not for the easily offended. Murder Mile returns on Thursday the 3rd of November 2022. But until then, there's this. Number 12. Zorba the Freak. Phones, laptops, iPads and computers, as some of Britain's less blessed in the brain box often call them. It's almost impossible to do anything these days without accessing the internet. Tinternet. It's a world of information at our fingertips, and yet it's turned us all into useless, opinionated, lazy bastards. I mean, why has such a wonderful thing made us all so lazy? Why? Hang on a minute, I'll Google it. Right, why has it... hang on, why am I Googling it? Hang on. Wikipedia. Okay, so Wikipedia says brain-dead lazy bastards were first created in... oh, God! It's at least a whole paragraph long. Oh, look at it, all those words and shit. Oh, how the flip did they expect me to read all that? I mean, I'd love to read more, because a 2-year-old influencer who's living a fake life has said I should. And I believe them, because they've got 80 million followers, and that many morons can't be wrong. Am I right? Shit. Oh, I know. I'll see if someone's done a podcast about it. Right, okay. Oh God, why can't autocorrect read my mind? I've been typing for ages. Oh, hang on. I've got an app which converts my monotonous moaning into a less than rambling text. And even though it takes longer to download the app, to work out how to use the app, and here's a true fact for you, every time you do an internet search, that's the equivalent of running a 60-watt light bulb for 17 seconds, which means that every time you talk shit with your pals on WhatsApp, you're effectively doing a massive turd on the planet. You're welcome. But anyway, sod it, I'll use that app. Right, upload text.
Is there a podcast on why we are all such lazy bastards? And can someone tell me what my name is? How long I can go without breathing, as I've heard that air contains calories? And what is the right way to sit on a toilet? Thank you.
Sadly for those whose opposable thumb is only there to hold a phone or an iPad, that's the reality. Remember a life before iPhones? That suckled teat for life's fuckwits? Yes, the good old days when you had no choice but to physically walk, using your legs, into a real shop made of bricks, to be greeted, curtly if at all, by a grumpy deadbeat whose default setting was gormless, who was paid 6p an hour whilst wearing an unironic here to help badge. And yet, when you ask them for the one thing they supposedly sell, they glare at you as a river of drool spooled from their lips like a Niagara Falls of spittle. And they stated, "Huh? Never heard of it." Which we all know was a lie. Then the century turned. Smartphones went from being bricks on which you could play Snake and possibly make a call, but nothing more. And then, boom! Tinternet in a box in your hand. We all got a world of freedom at our fingertips. And yet what did many people do with it? Mucky things. Very mucky things. The internet is great, but it's also a terrible thing if you're a massive weirdo. Now, imagine if someone looked at your internet history. As a true crime fan, surely it would be filled with key phrases like murder, death, killer, disposal, bodies in shallow graves. But it also remembers your deepest, darkest secrets in its searches, like, how do I get rid of foot fungus? Why does my winkle smell? Are cakes diet products? And I slept with 8 men last night. Can I still get pregnant, or do they cancel each other out? Every time you use Tinternet, you leave a trail. Which begs the question, who is watching you? Well, here's an unsettling story about someone who was watching others, and yet now someone is watching him. But I warn you, as much as we've had a giggle, this story will make you shudder. Eleftherios Zampolakis, also known as Elef, was a 34-year-old Greek man who'd come from Crete to London to spend a little while in the West End. He loved the West End, and he liked visiting shops, especially clothes shops. Which was odd, as he never seemed to buy anything, he never seemed to try anything on, and always being in women's clothes shops. Maybe he was buying something nice for his wife. I mean, he could have been, but he wasn't. On the 10th of July 2018, security were alerted to a man acting suspiciously as Elef was witnessed filming women undressing in changing rooms, positioning his camera up their skirts, and one woman was even filmed while she was on the toilet. Elef was arrested on sight. Taken to the police station, his phone was confiscated and the police viewed the files. Tried at Westminster Magistrates Court, Elef was charged with possessing 13 extreme pornographic images, the contents of which were described as being portrayed in an explicit and realistic way. A person performing acts of intercourse with live or dead animals, namely a horse and an octopus. Elef was found guilty of outraging public decency, observing a person doing a private act for the purpose of obtaining sexual gratification, and possessing prohibited images of young children. He was sentenced to 18 months in prison, suspended for 2 years, which, having coincided with the COVID pandemic, meant that, living in Greece, it was unfeasible for him to serve his sentence in Britain. So, having attended a sex offenders clinic, the judge stated that it would be difficult to make any sort of community order in this country because you plan to go back to Crete. I'm happy for you to do that because you will be in Crete under the watchful guise of the women in your life. Elef is now only allowed access to a computer or a phone under his wife or daughter's supervision, which is terrible for his wife and daughter, but also for anyone who's currently on holiday in Crete and enjoys eating calamari. The Daily Inch returns tomorrow. And of course, your regular episodes of Murder Mile return on Thursday the 3rd of November, or 3 days earlier via Patreon. Thank you.